good morning, and welcome to another episode of Tay Talks Positivity. This is your girl Tay, ready to help you get your week started with some positive vibes and good energy. Now, if you don't know already, my goal for this podcast is to help others change and try to look at things from a positive perspective, not just my listeners, but for myself included. I want to start by thanking everyone who tunes in to Tay Talks Positivity every week. It means the world to me that you all take time to support what it is I'm trying to do every week. Trying to always think positive, I know, can be hard sometimes, especially when it just seems like one thing after another keeps happening. I've gone back and forth with whether or not to do today's episode because I wanted to try to focus on all things positive. But if we all want to be honest with ourselves, there are some times when trying to always stay positive can seem like a struggle. You ever feel like sometimes you're in a hole and no matter how hard you try to climb out, all you're doing is digging the hole wider and deeper? You can't help but ask why. You might even question why it is that no matter how positive you try to be, it just seems like there's always something that just keeps happening. This week's affirmation is the wait isn't punishment, it's preparation. The one thing that I want to try to make sure that I always do is to be open with you all about what I go through on a weekly basis. Now, as positive as I always try to be, this week I had a breakdown and for a couple different reasons. I was on FaceTime with Shamira and out of nowhere I just broke down and just started crying. I put the phone down so she couldn't see me because I don't like being seen as weak. But after a few seconds, she does what she always does when she sees that I'm feeling overwhelmed. She just simply reassured me that things are fine and that I don't need to worry so much about whatever it was that was bothering me in that moment. Now, this is why I always say it is important to have people in your life that are genuinely there for you because she didn't even ask me what was wrong. She just simply reassured me that no matter what it wasn't going to be as bad as I was thinking it was. It's easy for people around you to be there for you at your high points. But it's in those moments when you feel like giving up or like you're at your lowest point, they are there when times get tough and being positive just seems like it's the hardest thing for you to do. So I'm grateful to have her in my corner because in that moment, I needed somebody to shine their light of positivity on me. Now, lately, I've been struggling with patience. Earlier that same day, Shamir had sent me like seven reels on Facebook. And one of them was a video of people ranting and raving about how they were working on a job that pays them the most money that they ever made. But for some reason, they were still struggling. And listening to them, I was like, well, damn, they're not lying. They're really talking some true stuff. Sometimes I sit and wonder how before I was making a whole lot less money than I'm making right now and was, making ends meet, but still living paycheck to paycheck. And then I was blessed enough to get another job paying me a whole lot more money, but sometimes it still feels like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I just sat back and wonder, like, how is that possible? One of the people in the video said that they made $34 an hour and was still struggling. And then another person was saying how one of the problems is that there's no cap on rent. And because of that, every year properties are able to raise the rent. She was saying something about how because minimum wages were raised, that they raised the price on rent, some whole political whatever. And then because of that, they raised the prices on food, even though it still costs the same to produce that same product. So at the end of the day, yes, they're raising minimum wage, and we all get excited like, hell yeah, yes, thinking that we're finally going to be able to stay above water. But then with the prices of everything else going up, it's still the same thing. We're still in the same boat trying to stay afloat. And the more I sat there thinking about it, I was getting frustrated and more frustrated because you have to work extra time just to have a few extra dollars in your pocket to make it to the next week. It wasn't just me thinking about the financial struggles that had me in my feelings. It was me thinking about some of the things that comes with the podcast. Like I had said before, I've been doing all that I can to try to make the podcast more visible and more accessible for people to be able to, get to every week. I even figured out how to schedule posts on Facebooks and social media outlets. But for some reason, I still feel like I'm stuck at a standstill when it comes to having people actually click on the follow button or actually interact or even to just simply share the post. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about anything. I'm grateful for all of you that do follow and everybody that does listen, and even for those who share the podcast in some type of form or fashion. And for those of you who are following Tay Talks Positivity on any of your social media accounts, I'm grateful to all that you do to engage with the posts and to share them. It's just that by now I thought I would have had more followers and interactions with you all that I have been having at this point. Now I know it's still new and I need to be patient. But when I sit back and look at my personal Facebook page and Instagram pages, I have over 800 friends. Let's put that word in quotations, friends. And I make a post for those friends to go like and follow the Tay Talks Positivity page. Now, I've done this and I don't know how many times, and I still don't have that many followers on the actual Tay Talks Positivity page. And what's crazy is that during the same times I was sending out invites for people to follow the podcast's page, I was also getting invites to follow other people's pages, whether it was for their podcast, their whatever creator content page they had made. Now, me being the person I am, I still follow their pages because that's just the kind of heart I have. I try my best to support people because I would like people to have that same kind of heart when it comes to me. And I can almost guarantee you that if I had decided to make this podcast be about drama and gossip, I would have more than triple the amount of followers I have now. It just baffles me sometimes how people are quick to support anything and everything full of drama and negativity, but silently sit on the sidelines, pretending they have no interest and what's going on with things that are positive. In spite of having so many family members that probably have never even clicked on the podcast to listen or even decided to say, hey, let me show my family support. I'm going to follow this page. I know everybody's probably thinking, how is any of this focused on positivity? But the one thing I want to do is keep it real with everyone because I know we can talk about staying positive in spite of all the negative, but there are some days when the struggle is real. And sometimes, in order to find the positive in something, you really do have to look deep into the negative that's going on. And thinking about it made me want to do this episode where I can let you all know what I've been feeling and dealing with mentally, and that it's okay to have a day where you just feel defeated. It's okay to take a moment and vent about what's bothering you and scream or cry or whatever it is that you do when you get to the point where you just feel like giving up. But the key is to not allow yourself to stay knocked down. After you take the time you need to allow yourself that moment to get it all out, just like I did, I pulled myself together. You have to pull yourself together and shake off those feelings of worry and doubt. I opened my phone and I went into the Bible app and I searched for a daily devotional about patience. At one point or another, we all have moments when we sit down and wonder, when will it be our turn? When will the day come when we no longer have to worry about money? When will it be our turn for our dreams to become our reality? The devotional spoke about waiting in a spiritual sense. How when we're waiting on God to show up, it's not like waiting for our turn at the doctor's office. We sit there watching the TV or reading old magazines while we wait for our turn. It was saying how during those moments when we're waiting for our turn and praying for our blessings, to not think of that period of waiting as just a time filler. For us to basically lean into that waiting period and embrace God in a new passion. For us to allow ourselves to get lost in his presence and to anticipate the outcome he's preparing for us. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31 says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So my goal for this week is to tap back into my religion and to allow God to do his work and allow him to order my steps. The way I want things to go may not be what God has planned for me. He just might have something greater than what I'm even dreaming of. One that is going to come with a greater reward than what I could have ever thought for myself. So now that I allowed myself to have that moment and be in my feelings, I'm going to let go and just let God. I want to thank you all for tuning in and allowing me to share this moment of weakness with you all. The purpose of Tay Talks Positivity is not only to spread positivity to others, but it's also a safe space for myself and for anybody else to be able to be vulnerable, open, and honest. To be able to shed whatever it is that we feel is holding us back or holding us down and continue to fight the good fight. To continue to live in and towards our purpose. to get back up stronger than we were when we fell down. So I challenge you all to find a goal that you wish to achieve this week and to put a plan together to help you reach that goal. And if you get to a point where you feel like giving up, just let go and give it to God and let Him carry you the rest of the way. Until next time, this is your girl Tay. Always remember, affirm it, apply it, and achieve it.